be working here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need to do some slight tweaks to that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, there was. Okay, then we come up. Sorry. Yes, one of us. Okay.
Yeah, but
What do you need?
we may have extra laptops. We just need to determine how many we have upstairs. Yeah, so
How many do you need? I'll go pull it.
for four.
Okay. So
I'll do this.
do this. I'll do that. I'll get.
Have these guys set up translation into Zoom into these laptops yet? Not yet. Okay, well, that's kind of crucial.
Ini English ama? Bora siipati. English too? English yenyewe, right?
French to English.
Okay. Then the second one?
English to French. English to Arabic.
Mbona haichukui? Ni start.
I think I did start the meeting.
Okay. English, French, English, French. Supposed to start here. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Lazima ikie kwanza.
Yeah.
Ndani ya bakia na Spanish katika
Which one? Siko sawa. I start. Then assign, right?
Yeah, we just the pressure just to get this up.
English, Arabic.
interpreter
Interpreter ni
English.
English to Arabic. Siko sawa.
Sana.
Well, we need to still get interpretation into
Arabic.
Arabic iko ya mwisho. Ya kwanza iko
English to French.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. Don't worry about this.
Okay. You're not getting internet.
I don't know what's going on here.
Hivyo. Alafu number 2 English.
French.
Mwingine
Kwani wako kuna wawili.
Thank you very much for joining us. And I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Shivri. I'm at UNFPA State's Regional Office. And I manage the two UNFPA Joint Programs for Environmental Practices, namely FGM and child marriage. I'm delighted here today is
Interpreter number 2 in English too.
from the UN member.
Okay, for one. Interpreter number 2 is
The Arabic, kenapa interpret Arabic?
Amin Abi.
Jadi, these languages, English, French, Arabic.
The third one is English, French, and
Arabic.
Arabic.
We have two areas that we consider special knowledge and also access to justice. Some of my colleagues, both Christine and now you're welcome to the session. I'm particularly happy to have this session with our colleagues from UN Women because we don't have this kind of collaboration in the region, so it might open for us having more discussions around how to collaborate on good practices with UN Women. In fact, there is a small change in the session because the fact that the feminist movement and the work around the LGBT, we are not applying this lens, but we are applying a wider lens related to the work of the UN agencies and also activists around I will start the session by a brief introduction on the term, because in fact, when we try to work around cyberbullying and all the issues of technology, it's really terminologies and can reflect the situation, and we can also reflect
maybe just put it on
technology
Yes,
so through different efforts to come up with
We're just trying to look it up. Sorry.
Okay, but before we start, can I know if you're familiar with the technology related to the gender-based violence? Anyone? No? Not from from the audience. Are you aware of what is the meaning of technology related to gender-based violence? Okay, what is the meaning of gender-based violence in general? We know that. It's one.
French.
In simple terms, we are not talking at the technical terms of the session. We are having a discussion around what gender-based violence from what the words explain. Yeah. Approximately.
Ada jadi
Any harm that someone like another one using power or using power or other sexual assault, related to the violence against women, against the human being, that causes gender inequality. Thank you very much. So our colleague mentioned many things in the definition, including the root causes for the gender-based violence, what's gender inequality. She mentioned the examples as well as some of the sexual violence, and also she mentioned the boundaries around gender-based violence that's based on the gender of the subject of this violence. And normally, when we talk about gender-based violence, the whole subject to this harmful event is women's violence. Also, would like to welcome our young champions from the girls here who are joining us for this session, and it would be great also to hear your insights on the presentation that you present, and to make sure that so maybe I'll discuss after the presentation and talk about why are we talking about especially gender-based violence and what are the questions that we are expecting to answer to our panelists. So the first question that we will ask to our panelists, and I'm asking it to be what is gender-based violence and how did the concept emerge? So this is something because it's new to many of areas we're doing. The second question will be around what are the efforts that phenomenon. Third question, so we're giving some examples of gender-based violence. And the last question would be around advocacy. Make sure that at the end of the session we will have 50 minutes for questions for so as I mentioned that
this is the interpretation.
violence the act of violence perpetrated by one or more individual that is committed, assisted, activated, and amplified in part or fully by the use of information, communication technologies, or digital media against a person on the basis of the gender. So there are several elements that have to be there. Technology has to be GDP, such as information, media, emails, any form of technology, and also violence also it's based on gender. So there is someone who after a woman online and body shaming her or preventing her from giving her back comments. Like most of the audience here from make such comments. And so it's under the definition of technology gender violence. So what do we know about the technology gender violence? There are lack of information because different things. First, under reporting of the incidents, sometimes it's a new concept. So everyone that if someone commented in a harsh way or in an offensive way on my Facebook post, this is based on my gender. So there is lack of awareness around the definition and around what it entails. But the information that we have from different credible resources is that 85% of women globally have experienced or witnessed the digital violence against other women. 57% of women who have had their videos or images online either abused or misused. And also 96% of the online videos of pornography are all out. So the gravity of this question being worse, it could be at the national level data, but these are the global information that we have. So as I mentioned, there are many efforts that are just highlight what should be done. We have our strategic plan for 2022 that was 45, so almost mid review now. And in the strategic plan, there is a recognition of the impact of digitalization and the global negation, and this cannot be ignored. So, of course, with COVID-19, that was most of the business shifted online, including our work, pushing the different communities that have access to such technology. So we recognize that this digitalization is a factor and also is a negative thing depending on how we do business, particularly around exploitation GDP. So I'm interested in graphic and the dangers that
qui sont attachés à la
using the digital platform is one of the areas that we are trying to exert more efforts to ensure that we are covering this part of our portfolio. So what we did is that we launched this campaign, and I invite you all to look at it online. It's very and it's actually targeting Gen Z, so the younger here can relate to that. And it's called Body Rights. If you recognize the sign, it's for body, but you know this is for copyrights, so no one can touch this. So Body Rights can be simply it amplifies the voice of women economy and it causes protection of women and girls in online spaces. And the website has different information, so it's not only for the debate, but also you can use it as a collective campaign towards advocacy. So colleagues at HQ and other big meetings, UN, they used this to portray the prevalence of the issue and also to ensure that we are covering the area of the online platforms and also using the language of the new generation. Another area of post-processing coverage that I said was the alarming rates of increasing technology facilitated gender-based violence, and of course the COVID effect on increasing online access to different resources of information and also communicate or to our webinars or even if colleagues are joining right now. We need to find guidelines to ensure that our programming is informed by evidence and at the same time it's sustainable. So today making all spaces safe, and it talks only about technology facilitated gender-based violence, and it addresses from the aspect of the framework where it covers all main sections, including the prevalence and recommendation, and also the prevention they can use. And the recommendations actually are at different level, like the community level, high level, and can be used as an advocacy or as awareness. So I also invite you to make this online. It's a available resource for everyone who takes works in the GPA program. And by this, I would like to invite our first panelist, our colleague Elise, to present this. Please give a big hand.
All right, thank you very much. So we at where are we at?
This one is
Technologically facilitated by gender violence. We are reminded that there are very many positives around technology. It's only when technology then is misused, but then it becomes a burden to us and it stops becoming positive, but then facilities the negative activities. So we are having initiatives, and we all know that young people, especially, are able to use technology, be able to access markets, be able to send information, be able to make money, working from home became a very good norm, and many people, even writers, script writers, have been able to actually become people. So women, we have, for example, using technology, be able to have a lot, especially with our peace and security initiative. We work with local chiefs that are in the national function. What happens in
this one.
However, they are living something where they are many women and we have seen many girls go through a lot of trauma. Either by themselves, but also really intimidated by others. What has been happening? Where are we at? What are the things that have really important? And what are the things that have now moved last year during elections in Kenya? So that there was a lot of shift from gender violence and equality that is physical and big shift to online life. And that will also be affecting not only the candidates but also the people around them, the family, so we are totally negative. Once again, we are on the we have several initiatives that enable particularly young people to be able to use technology in a way that is positive. We have African Girls and Work, which is a regional program where we have girls in the age of 16 to 21 really moving further utilize technology and to show that African girls are actually and that it's not a preserve for younger men, but that even they can get to that. So for that, working with schools, working with technological companies like here, trying to enhance the capacity of young women. when it comes to how they handle technology. We've also been using other initiatives like campus meeting, where then students who are able to master labs, information, work, mention of students not living and violence in campus. Many of us we have already around this issue of text for marks, and so therefore we will not management those trends that by fellow students and management. We also have already mentioned that we also use the technology to be able to create an app and begin workers and opportunity. Most of the time, we make working in areas that are people, and this helps help them with information. So we are happy that we're joined by a practitioner in this field. I feel that we should be pretty neutral today. We've always talked about GPT and always seen, and even the previous posters of GPT always had people punching, people preventing themselves from punches, but now it has moved further. It has really destroyed ourselves, our beings, just by someone who's visible and having violence that's always around you, and you can't hide, you can't go under. And whenever you think that now you've run into the person, something else emerges. And yet, a space that is so exposed that we can do that with God. We cannot no longer say, I won't have a home. By tomorrow, for Kenyans or many other people, you need M-Pesa or the mobile money business. So, if nothing else, something, there is something you need to call. And right there, you're calling an image of you pops up. You know? Then how do we interact with it, and how do we ensure that the use of technology becomes facilitating for our well-being and never for gender violence? And when it is used for gender violence, then what do we do? What are the remedies? Are we able to access justice when then such cases appear to be with advantage? So we will move on to our panelists.
Thank you very much for this experience. Maybe we can talk after the session to see how can we take this to the Art States Regional Office. It's a very interesting initiative and also very innovative. Our next panelist is our colleague Nada Jama, and she's from UNFPA-UNICEF Office, and she will present to us how they work at this at the national level in Tunisia, and very interesting. Hello everyone, I'm Nada Jama. I'm a PhD music office. I'm a GTD program officer, and I work mostly on GTD programming. So through our work, organizations and service providers, mainly shelters and safe spaces for women and girls victims of violence. We noticed that CFGDB is growing exponentially in Tunisia, and we had to tackle this issue. We couldn't leave it. So that's when we decided to make a prevention and awareness raising a priority programming. And within this context, that we developed an awareness raising board game called Day1. Are you guys familiar with the board game Monopoly? Has anyone played it before? Yeah. You haven't? Well, maybe it's a big chance for you to play Monopoly. So this game is a rendition of the famous game Monopoly, but we changed it and made it an awareness raising game. And can you go to the next slide? So the chance and community card, for those who are familiar with Monopoly, we inserted awareness raising messages in the card. So players take a message. Next step. And they would have something like you have to exactly take accounts and check the project photos. The street today wearing up in the or following an online assault, you took screenshots of the messages and gave the information facts and apply the data. Receive 500. So the point of the game is to encourage good practices and safe the safe usage of internet while condemning CFGBB. Next slide, please. In this game, we replaced real estate by social media platforms and other platforms where TFGPP usually occurs. So in the classic game of Monopoly, you have to buy streets and real estate. And in this game, you have to buy social media platforms. Next. The game is available in 3 languages. It's entirely online, but it's also designed to fit into the Tunisian context. So, for example, you pick a card that would recommend following certain steps to file to lodge a complaint or something, and those steps are actually the right steps to follow if you're in Tunisia, if you're a victim of TFG. Next. In terms of partnership, to develop this game, we partnered with FGM, which is the organization for medical students and interns, because this organization is familiar with awareness raising among youth and adolescents. So we needed their expertise in terms of awareness raising for the target group. We also partnered with the Youth Clubs organization, which is an organization that exists within all high schools in Tunisia. They have clubs, and we partnered with them because they have the reach we wanted. They can reach easily our target group, which are adolescents. For the funding, we secured funding from the French Institute of Tunisia through the innovation fund they had, and they were actually very excited to see an innovation in fighting gender-based violence. So if you ever hear of innovation funds available, I encourage you to apply for them because they're really interested in gender-based violence, elimination of gender. The development process we followed is a multi-step process. We first started with an online consultation with the target group. That's when the youth clubs came in handy because we developed this online questionnaire that we sent to youth through the youth clubs. And the consultation asked them about what they knew about gender-based violence, what they knew about TFGPP, and what they knew about the safe usage of internet. And based on the results of this consultation, we developed content of the game and the awareness-raising messages that were in it. The third step was web development that we unfortunately had to contract to a third party because we didn't have the expertise in-house with UNFPA. So we launched a goal and we hired a company that developed the game. The fourth step was the testing and finalization. The process followed an intensive testing phase to make sure that the messages that we included in the game were right for the audience, but also to make sure that there were no technical bugs or issues. And the next step is web hosting, which, believe it or not, is actually the most important step in the entire process because we wanted the game to be used as an education tool. So we wanted a certain appropriation of the game by public institutions and mostly schools. So we had to convince the Ministry of Education to host the game on their servers so that they become actually an education tool and they can be used in schools by teachers and also within extracurricular activities. Next, please. So the game is available on this address. The only issue is that it's hosted on the government servers. It's only accessible in Tunisia unless you use a VPN. We also developed a promotion video that is accessible on YouTube. We just need to type Nairobi and get video. So our work on TFGPP does not stop here. In fact, Nairobi within the country office, we work on several awareness raising initiatives. In 2020, we launched an online campaign on the elimination of TFGPP that was based on the results of a study that one of our partners conducted on TFGPP within Facebook in Tunisia. They chose Facebook because Facebook is the most widespread social network in Tunisia. And results of the study what type of the TFGPP was appearing in this on this social network. So we developed a web campaign based on the result of this study, and the campaign consists of examples of TFGPP. We show, for example, the conversation happening on Facebook Messenger with an anonymous user assaulting a Facebook user. And then the next video will show the steps that you can follow to take legal action to pursue this person in justice. following this campaign, we received a high number of interactions from users that actually realized that they were being victims of TFGPV, or that they have been victims of TFGPV, and they reached out to us to seek advice. So that's when we got the idea to develop a barometer of TFGPV. It's a certain tool that you can use. It's a series of questions and answers, and based on your answer, you situate it on one of 22 levels. And those levels indicate whether you are in danger of TFGPV or not. And based on the level you are on, the tool will indicate what you should do to prevent TFGPV. This tool is called CW Automate. We'll be ready by the end of the year. So by next topic we can present it. But also while doing this awareness rating work, we realized that the data on the phenomenon that would look into the prevalence of the phenomenon, different types, what we did study in South Australia. The main result of the study is that 60% of the women interrogated said they have been or are being victims of TFGPV. And the study allowed us to use the use of a well-being questionnaire to establish the link between mental well-being. Notice from the study that even being like women being victims of TFGPV were suffering from reduced well-being, mental well-being. So actually makes TFGPV a matter of public health. So that's what our office has been doing in terms of TFGPV prevention. I hope you want to.
Right.
Thank you very much for showing us the different efforts, and also the addressing expectations, which requires innovation. And please vote your questions for we listened to our last panelist here, Liliane Olivia. She's the founder of Safe Online Women Kenya. And she will give us hands-on experience on how she founded her organization and how the work being done in Kenya. Please give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to actually stand before you. I think I'm the youngest founder in the room. So Step Online Women Kenya was founded 2 months ago. This was after realizing that students from the age of 15 to 17 years who are in high school undergo a lot of cyberbullying, body shaming. We also noticed that our women politicians were going through a lot of online violence during our 2022 general elections. And we realized that there's a gap in terms of digital literacy skills in Kenya. So Safe Online Women Kenya is a community-based organization that ensures that women and girls have digital literacy skills. And so we are coming up with a curriculum to teach young women and girls on cybersecurity skills, how to use artificial intelligence to curb, for instance, when deepfakes are online, how do you counter that? Secondly, we also are in the process of coming up with a mobile phone application that will be called SafeHub. So SafeHub is supposed to be a mobile phone application that blocks all the negative comments before it actually appears on your social media platform. So for instance, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So before someone decides to send a negative comment, when you have the app downloaded on your phone, it blocks all that negative information. Then third, we've been conducting research and writing blog posts because we believe in awareness. And there's no way we are going to tackle technology-facilitated gender-based violence if we do not have the knowledge on how to keep our internet safe. So the first thing is, one, equip young women and girls on ways of protecting themselves online. And this we are doing through workshops, seminars, as we're still in the process of coming up with our curriculum. Then secondly, we also have support services. So with technology-facilitated gender-based violence, mental health is also an issue. And because not so many people are coming out to talk about I was cyberbullied. We are trying to create a community of young women and girls who support one another. So I'm sure in this particular room, in one or the other, either this month or this week, you have received a comment that you did not want to see. You had maybe posted a picture thinking it was nice, but someone decided, no, it's not nice, and sent a mean comment. So how do we bring on board people who have experienced similar occurrences together? So we are teaming up with other organizations to come up with support services and even helplines where you can call us and we give you mental health therapy. Other than that, I'd like to say with the effort of UNFPA and UN Women, we are looking forward to also reach the levels where Tunisia is with the game. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lillian, and very good to hear the things that are already progressing. How do we, I mean, some of us use our home for yearly calling. So, how do we have technology, the sector, what are all those things, and how do we practically have the other gadgets? We used to have one thing, right now we have almost 45. So these are things that are doable, but again, technology moving forward in a way that we really have to catch on what we did. So thank you very much for your presentation. Also, hearing a lot of things that are happening from Tunisia. So we would want to also hear from yourself what are those initiatives that you have, what are those challenges that you might be thinking that our other colleagues may be able to respond to, but also what suggestions or what solutions coming up. I'm sure we are here as experts from the area we're coming, where we come from, and that there's already so much happening that we can really plan for. So I want to give us this opportunity, restricted their timing so that we have more time for you to be able to interact. So we can take comments, keep them short, so that we can have a because we have been given a time limit that we really must break by 1:45. So that means by 1:40 we must break by 5. So that's about so can I see by your hand so we can start here, then we go to power, then we pass through equity, and so we first have the younger person, so then you can do that. Oh, she donated her skill. Thank you.
So we have been speaking of kids in the past. What about of the people that have smartphones? What happens to them? Or the areas that don't have network? Because in Kenya, we have so many areas where the network is very bad.
Thank you. Mine is just information knowledge how the procedure of having gender balance in the open space to everybody coming online. And also, as we get more time, what are some of the things we need to do to make that space safe? Part of the conversations that I have had with young people where it's conversations where we tend to open ourselves to that space. And I'm glad Vivian is talking about an outlet to stop negativity. How best can we then ensure that that space is safe for all of us outside the group? My other concern is just the situation on the copyright around the how do we address that?
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is David from the school for 2 questions. How can innovation check on the mental health of the children affected by gender-based violation, i.e., our well-being of these children who have been affected. Is there a follow-up action? Secondly, how does Nokia technology enhance the information on violence against gender-based violence? How do we make a follow-up to the technology? Thank you very much. You're doing good work. There was your colleague next to you.
Hello. My name is Emma. I have a question, but I would like to say that I'm very nice to I already know people like really not that. My question is almost a question I wanted to ask. As organizations which are actually this fairly, because we've already said that the numbers have expression zero. What are we doing to the already affected people after they were already affected? Because the numbers are not zero yet. The group of people that are already affected, what are we doing to them? Are we helping them mentally? Or do we have platforms for them to reach out to after they're affected? And we do have this things. How accessible are they to this group of people? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We take maybe 2 more before we can respond to the
Bonjour tout le monde. I don't speak English. Je vais le faire en français. Ma question.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Yes. Stop. Stop.
Nobody's
You okay now? Yeah, okay, someone can. If we all have, she can go on.
Yes.
If you have someone translate. You okay now?
D'accord. Ma question, c'est un peu. Je suis Fanta Yatara, je suis du Mali. Je représente le Global Consortium against FGM. Ma question, c'est un peu dans le même sens que ma question, c'est pareil. Et les gens qui n'ont pas de smartphone, comment est-ce que eux, ils peuvent se prendre pour éviter, pour avoir des informations sur l'harcèlement en ligne? Également, vous avez parlé pour les jeunes qui sont au niveau des universités. Et comment est-ce que nous pouvons toucher ceux qui sont dans les collèges? Parce que chez nous, nous voyons que ce sont ces enfants qui sont les plus touchés sur l'harcèlement, les enfants qui ont des smartphones sont menacés en ligne et on les envoie des photos en mode nu et on les menace. Donc, comment est-ce que nous pouvons vous y prendre pour donner les bonnes informations à ces enfants-là?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for all those very useful questions. Someone else had a comment, but let's first have the tool respond to those so that they can also just be able to catch all of them. Then we'll take a look at more specifically this kind of bit of the line. So do you want to start?
So I'll start with the question about the copyrights of the game. So since what we asked for legal advice, and what we got is that since it's being used for non-profit goal, then we are allowed to use it without any copyright issues. And in terms of scaling it up and adapting it to a different context, what we recommend would be to keep the infrastructure of the game and the technical part as whole, and then work through the first step that I mentioned earlier, which is the consultation with the target group, in order to identify what should be in the game, to identify, to be able to develop the content and make it suitable for the context that the game will be adapted to. And then the other steps would have to, follow the same. You don't even need to redo anything. Just adapt the content based on the result of the consultation. In terms of reaching people who are not connected, the study that we conducted showed a correlation between usage of internet, which is kind of obvious in the usage of internet, and being connected, and TLGBT. So the more connected you are, the higher the risk of being a victim of TLGBT. And it goes the other way around. So the less connected you are, the lower the risk of being a victim of TLGBT. So for someone who's not connected, who doesn't have a smartphone, then the risk of being victim of TLGBT is very low. Basically non-existent, except for the harassment that can happen through the phone. When it comes to reaching youth, that's our main target actually for TLGBT, because they're the target group of such the group that is at the higher risk of being targeted of TLGBT. And we try to reach them by including TLGBT prevention in the education curriculum and in the comprehensive sexuality education curriculum that we are implementing. So the earlier we reach the target group, the safer they are later from TLGBT. And what we do is also try to teach them how to use internet safely. There are a lot of tips on how to on safe usage of internet, for example. Very basic things regarding the number of how frequently you have to change your password, or what kind of pictures you can share, or what kind of pictures you can't share. Those tips are good for preventing TLGBT, although I'm not really a fan of the narrative of putting the prevention work on potential victims. It's better for us to prevent TLGBT by addressing the perpetrators of such violence, but it's still a good practice for us to prevent it through potential victims and through educating potential victims. I think I've answered the questions that I received.
We'll just check whether the balance we have the data and is any left.
Thank you so much. Also, I was thinking about what we call the unstructured supplementary service data, USSD. So in areas where you have people not having smartphones, you can decide to have hashtags, then a certain number as a USSD code where they can reach out and get the help. In terms of children's well-being and mental health, like whether there's an app to that, I think the first aspect would be by the time we allow our children to have access to the internet, then what measures as parents are we putting in place as schools, as the government? And I'll leave that question to UNFPA and then thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. This morning we were in a panel and someone was saying that lately for anyone who wants to go into law and building and how the first thing they ask is this internet, Wi-Fi, and can't you all over the phone, why can't I access it? So on the one hand, we really need it, but now we are here. So who has the internet right now? the children. Okay, because we left them at home. So we want it so badly, but then we go to work. Then they remain with it. If we know the children, we know we have right now, whether they are our parents, they are our relatives, our own children, immediately they say for 3 minutes. What do they say? They see a phone on the table. You know, bored. They are getting bored very quickly. So it's a good thing that we have a lot of internet and a lot of phone. But the more we have and the more internet we get, then the more susceptible again it appears to be. So, but again, it's a global world, we need the internet. So the capping of it is very important. There was a question, and I thought, Lilian, you were going to answer it, on how are we supporting those that are already undergoing this kind of pressure, those that are already facing the abuse, is there a support system? What are we doing?
Yes, to answer that question, at Safe Online Women Kenya, we have partnered with a few psychologists and therapists who come on board to help young women and girls who've gone through this. We are still not having a huge number of these professionals, and that is why we'd also like to reach out to everyone in the room. If you are aware of therapists or psychologists who we can bring on board to help grow our support system, then it would be good. Another way is through YouTube channels. We have, because sometimes most people have the assumption or the belief that paying for therapy is quite expensive. So we encourage young women and girls to certain YouTube channels that give them the support, and they watch, when they watch those videos, then they find some comfort. Yes, thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Excusez-moi, je parle français. Je parle encore ici. Vous allez vous excuser, on va se débrouiller la prochaine fois pour parler anglais. Ouais, je m'appelle Babacar, je suis du Sénégal. J'avais 2 à 3 questions. Je vais féliciter ceux qui ont développé cette association pour protéger les enfants. Et au Sénégal, on est en train de faire peut-être la même chose avec d'autres applications. Peut-être qu'on a le temps de pouvoir. J'ai 2 questions. La première, c'est par rapport à l'utilisation du jeu. C'est bon de pouvoir donner un jeu. Est-ce que les enfants ont été formés par l'utilisation du jeu? Sinon, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, au niveau du net, il y a beaucoup de jeux qui sont proposés. C'est des jeux qui sont très actifs. Soit il y a de l'argent derrière, soit il y a un challenge derrière. Est-ce que ce jeu-là, les enfants ont été formés? Est-ce que les enfants qui sont réellement utiliser le jeu? Parce que les questions que l'on parle, il faut déjà former les gens. Alors, quand ils comprennent vraiment les messages qui sont utilisés, la deuxième question, c'est par rapport au blocage sur les messages malveillants. Est-ce que ce blocage-là est simplement au niveau du receveur, bien c'est un blocage? Parce que si c'est un blocage au niveau du receveur, et que quelqu'un d'autre a accès à ce message-là, est-ce qu'il ne peut pas partager ce message malveillant et que ça puisse être utilisé par d'autres personnes? La dernière chose, est-ce qu'on a pensé qu'on peut intégrer le darknet dans ce qu'on est en train de faire? Parce qu'aujourd'hui, beaucoup de jeunes utilisent le darknet pour discuter et échanger. Parce qu'on a pensé en tant que développeur, en des autres, un programme qui puisse sensibiliser les gens sur les dangers du darknet.
Is it possible that we can try to talk to our parents, try to get them to talk to our kids, how kids not offend.
Hi everyone, my name is Alal. I work for an organization in Kenya. So mainly, we deal with FGM cases, and we developed instead of, because we work in the interior parts of Nigeria where there are most people don't have support, so they are able to access such apps. For us, we developed a hotline where they can send an SMS. For example, if there is such things,
But then we have the challenge in that. I'm hoping maybe our panelists or anyone who can help us with that to find when you rescue someone from FGM or any other form of gender based violence, they check the length of danger. You got to get the patient. If it's a girl, for example, from FGM cases, when you rescue them, or them at first, you have a rescue center. I do not give that girl that, and you cannot give them back to their home. So the next time we offer them a scholarship opportunity to go back to school and start training. So it's clear. The people there in Kajiado, they kind of realize from this rescue, they can actually get scholarship opportunity. Now, if everyone is quiet, I'm in danger. So I'm in danger. So you go right away rescue. They can only find out afford for the father to have her daughter sent to the hospital. So for us, it's a big challenge. I'm hoping the UNFPA, UN Women, and all of you here can maybe give us a solution on how we can come such a thing. So we develop technology, but then they become smarter than us. So how can we even smarter? We are ahead of them. Yeah,
It's a good problem in educating the girl, isn't it?
Bonjour. J'aurais aimé parler français, mais c'est compliqué. Je peux dire ce que je devais dire parce que je suis pas vraiment bon en texte. I'm not going to return to the question of my sister. Just to continue to worry to found good initiative. As we see that creating application encounters difficulties, why not turn to participatory theater? This form of theater which can venture into the most remote corners and involve population. It is a result we tell you. We did not know the impact of our action and we are going to change it. We cannot educate the people, but we can inform them widely and for information that has an impact. Forum theater is absolutely the idea to which we must do. I do it in my country and the people understand the message. That's the issue that one.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. There was one time that I don't know whether it does feel the way it was said at the time, but there was someone who was explaining to us that some of the forms that we use, the cybercrime people, the people that are, for example, sending even pornography to children, are way ahead, and they can tell from the tap of the when your child takes a phone, by the tap of their fingers, the phone detects that that's a young person because the finger is so small, right? And so certain things pop out that are suitable for that child. So immediately a cartoon will pop out that wouldn't pop out if it was you, or a candy, something will pop out. So to make them interested, to make them go on and on. And so the addiction to the phone is really designed. So are there applications that apart from that they would have? Because when someone is looking for you for addiction, they do not necessarily send you the dangerous thing. They first send you the most friendly thing. Till maybe after a week, that's when they will start giving you tips of the bad thing. But by that time, you're already getting addicted to screen time, to this nice cartoon that you keep seeing. So I'll also just be interested. These applications that we're looking at that we have, are they available to actually, or we work now with hackers, or we work with the criminal to catch the criminal. Yeah, correct. So we have this only one comment here, so we listen to that one comment, then we come around and respond to the panel, and we'll close.
It's not about the situation. Hello, my name is Ayan. I just wanted to ask you in one question.
So, is there any government actions, or did you share the government, the people who are committed to violence, the TTBB, and so on? When you just saw the problem is because you already created the arms, right? And then did you share the government to take the action? That's my question. Thank you.
Right? So let's have a round of responses. They want to give your help or are we just doing special and empowerment?
Just to tackle this question, we try to involve the government in all of our work, but it's really difficult to engage government. So we cannot be just stand still and wait for them to be committed to the question to actually act. So we have to act on our side and try to involve them as much as we can. We try to do this by including comprehensive sexuality education curriculum in schools. This is the highest level of government involvement that we've reached, and within this curriculum, we address questions regarding GBV and TFGBV in particular. And so yeah, I hope this answers your. There was a question about if young people were trained to use the game. So the platform we developed, we first intended to be used in schools within a certain context, within like technology classes. So that there is like a supervisor going around and answering any questions that the kids might have, but it can also be used as an extracurricular activity. In that context, that there is no supervision. So what we did with the platform is that we developed it, we embedded a user guide in it. So every step of the way, there's a user guide that's going to guide you towards what you have to do next. So it doesn't really require any training, but it's pretty intuitive for kids, and kids are way ahead of us when it comes to playing games and video games that are pretty explanatory to them. They get it easier than adults. But there was a question I didn't answer earlier about what success looks like. Like I said, for us, success in terms of TFGBV prevention looks like the integration of TFGBV prevention in and with children. Because, like I said, the earlier we start preventing this phenomenon, the higher the success rate would be. So, yeah, education for us is when it comes to preventing TFGBV, but it doesn't mean that we have to turn a blind eye to, caring for TFGBV victims. Someone asked about what we plan on doing for the TFGBV victims, and we do that. We've included care for TFGBV victims among the care for GBV victims in general, and we've added a specific component, which is the mental care for TFGBV victims. So we've trained professional psychologists and psychiatrists on the specific care for TFGBV as opposed to regular GBV victims.
I'd like to speak about the Kenyan situation. So I must say the country has tried to make strides in terms of having technology facilitated gender-based violence. So we have an act which we call the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act 2018. So through this legislation, you're able to understand terms such as cyberbullying and cyberstalking. However, the challenge with that legislation comes in, for instance, when we have matters in courts and judges are not able to really tell the difference between to what extent is this online violence really a threat. And so finding that balance where a judge can tell, okay, in this instance, we have online GBV, then it becomes a challenge. Then also, moving forward, I would like to say we need to empower more girls in the STEM industry so that when we have more women in the science, technology, education, and mathematics sector, they help to develop gender-responsive apps and solutions to our problems. And it becomes easier, for instance, when we're talking about bias in this system and how that can also lead to technology facilitated GBV.
Right, thank you very much. I want to thank everyone for your contribution and we've gotten a width of a variety of information, but also solutions and how we continue to navigate with this GBV issues of working with community, creating awareness, working with children, pushing for the government to implement the laws that they could be, but also all of us getting involved so that we don't have to just sit and wait for the government to do something, but that we could do something, starting with the spaces we can, try and prevent. But also that it's very key to be able to recognize when technologically facilitated violence happens, and how then we support survivors. How do we even make it appreciated that one, it's a violation, and two, that there are therapies that are available for them, that support system is available for them, and that mental health remains as necessary in such circumstances as it could if it was physical violence. So I want to thank all of us, I'm sure we are experts from the areas that we sit, but that you've gotten something from this session, and that you will continue to be in that space and to provide guidance as you may. So myself and my co-facilitator would want to thank you on behalf of UNFPA, on behalf of UNFPA, for being part of our knowledge building and knowledge gathering, and for us to be able to share information. So we are quite like 3 minutes past the hour for lunch, and I know energies could be going low. So I want to have some bye-byes to say. Enjoy your lunch. Please remember we meet back and go to the other panel. Thank you very much. I hope everyone has their little card.
And we thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm saying, yeah, this was the next session. Is this set up for the next session? As in, there's only one presentation next. I'll send it to you now. I'll have to be in the other session. So, but if it's loaded, then yeah. So it's the same email address. Okay. Just want to see if the bag is go.
tuko tunakula lunch, tunaenda lunch, tulikuwa haraka.
I sent it to you now. I'll be here. So when is the next session starting? We only have a lunch now. It's been an hour. Coming back. I'm just working on Yeah. And it's just one man presenting. So this is so there's someone completely different in the other room, right? I must go to. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'll go to them. No. Serious. Nikamwambia Steve umekuwa very good student.
No, man, control your camera. Yeah.
Hey, you want to come with us?
It sounds the end on it. Lakini sasa mbona kwa nini hapo? Hapo ile sana nilikuwa namwambia kuja mapema.
Sana kuja mara mwisho wanaleta presentation wakati wiki inaanza. Niliona.
Nilimwambia jana nikamkumbusha. Kwa nini? Ungempatia zingine nilikuwa nimepatia nyingi.
Okay, everyone. Yes, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Talking about that.